Few people have spoken as openly, boldly, and unapologetically about identity, acceptance, and self-respect as our next guest.
So let's get straight to it. No long speeches, no hiding behind rehearsed answers. This is Stay Pressed.
This is where the questions come quick and the answers come even quicker. And tonight we are joined by someone who's built a career out of being unapologetically herself. Award-winning actress, TV host, writer, comedian, all of the above, and of course, an LGBTQIA+ rights advocate. Waikada, please join me in welcoming Jervy Wrightson, aka Kalad Karen!
We are so happy to have you here. Bumati ka naman sa aming mga Waikada.
Waikada, palakpakan naman na may kasamang hiyawan! Alam mo, nagpapasalamat ako sa Y Speak for allowing us to have an inclusive and intelligent discourse, lalong-lalo na as we celebrate Pride Month. Happy Pride,
Happy
sa inyong lahat!
Pride!
Happy Pride, everybody! O, diba saya? Ang kulay ng buhay.
Yeah, if it's coming from you, it's really a compliment.
Thank you.
Our theme for today is respect. And you are the first trans woman to win Best Supporting Actress sa Metro Manila Film Festival. First trans woman to be a news anchor. But looking back, we'd like to ask na, let's get straight to it na.
Go!
Yes, dahil
Press 1. Stay pressed.
No,
Press 2.
stay pressed. But looking back, could you recall the moment na you felt truly seen and respected for the first time, and also the moment na hindi pa?
I think I feel truly respected when people see me for all of who I am. When they listen to my voice, when they value my work, and most importantly, when they acknowledge my identity. And I'm so happy and privileged that it happened so many times in my life. There's so many instances na maikikwento ko sa inyo na nangyari siya sa buhay ko and in my career. When I won in Metro Manila Film Festival as the Best Supporting Actress, first time nangyari yun hindi pa siya nangyayari. So it was so monumental for me and for the entire LGBT community kasi nabuksan ang pintuan para sa maraming taong katulad ko. And in that moment, I felt seen. Nakasali pala kami sa lipunang ginagalawa natin, sa industriyang kinabibilangan natin. That's why I cried in my acceptance speech. Sabi ko, hindi nyo lamang po nakita ang aking trabaho, kundi ang aking pagkatao. At malaking bagay yon para sa akin. And then when I joined News 5 as the first transgender woman news anchor in the Philippines, I'm also very grateful to our news agency because they value my work and my contribution to the industry. Na parang hindi nila inisip yung aking identity pero binigyan nila ng halaga kung ano ang kaya kong i-offer as a news anchor. And in terms of disrespect naman, masasabi ko that I feel disrespected when people focus more on the labels, when people judge me before knowing my character, and when they look at me in a certain way na, bakla kasi siya or transgender siya without knowing my story.
Sana dumating yung panahon na hindi na to monumental, di ba?
Oo,
And thank
normal
you.
na lang siya.
Normal na lang siya.
Yeah.
Oo. Meron akong isang interview na sinabi ko, ang hirap maging bakla sa Pilipinas kasi araw-araw, it's a struggle. Araw-araw, pwede kang ma-discriminate. You can be a victim of violence kasi napaka-vulnerable ng buhay ng mga members ng LGBTQIA+ community, especially right now that we do not have a national legislation that will protect everybody, not only the members of LGBTQIA+ community. against discrimination with regard to their SOGI SC. Hindi pa po nangyayari yan kasi wala pa po tayong SOGI Equality Bill. We have right to care ordinances in different cities. Siguro may 6 na cities na ngayon sa Pilipinas ang meron yan that acknowledge same-sex relationship, partnership. Pero kailangan ba yung karapatan mo nakadepende sa zip code na kinabibilangan mo? Di ba yun ang tanong namin eh? More than being members of the LGBTQIA+ community, Pilipino din naman kami. So why don't we have access to the same rights as other people have?
Guru, speaking of the SOGI bill, knowing that yun nga, you are one of the people, the top people in this industry to be able to talk about these things and to represent them as authentically as possible. Siguro, where does this commitment and deeply come from for you?
I think being a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, being unapologetically yourself should not be an option. It should be a necessity. Sa dami ng pinaglalaban natin sa buhay, ang pinakasimpleng pwede mong gawin sa sarili mo ay maging totoo at maging tunay na ikaw. And for me, having this kind of platform, having a voice, and being labeled as a trailblazer, it also becomes a responsibility to show up not only for yourself, but for the entire community. May bit-bit ka na isang buong komunidad na umaasa sa representation mo. And I think it also comes from knowing what it feels like to see yourself not represented enough, spending so many years wishing someone like you should have a seat at the table. And then I realized how important visibility is. And sometimes, kapag hindi ako nabibigyan ng pagkakataon na masali or ma-include, I really try my best to create opportunities for other people so they also feel included. Dapat lahat tayo kasali. My wish is more people like me can enter the room and can do what other people do without judgment, without discrimination.
2026 na, pero itatanong pa rin namin yung tanong na, how do you react when you are in a space where you feel like the people around you expect something from you to act a certain way? For me, in my head, maybe because I'm privileged enough to be surrounded by allies, by so many progressive and liberated discussions. Pero marami pa rin demographic sa bansa natin ang hindi pa. How do you react if you are in a space na...
Hindi ako welcome.
Yes.
Trentahin na kasi ako. Oo. Ako yata ang pinakamatanda sa room na to. Well, except kay Father Tito Kaluwa, gano'n. Oo. Father, I love you. Pero pag trentahin ka na, alam mo, ayaw mo nang ma-stress. If you feel excluded, edi babu, bye-bye. You know, I have realized that in a very difficult way. Not every door will open for you. Not every circle is meant for you. And that's okay.
What if meron tayong waikada na nanonood na struggling on the excelling part? How did you handle strongly disagreeing in a space? Like kanina sabi mo, di ba, dead ma, walk out ka na lang. Pero what if you're required to be in that space? Parang you have no choice, di ba? Let's face it, mahirap ang buhay ngayon. Parang there are times that you have to stomach. How do you deal with strongly disagreeing?
Ako naniniwala kasi ako na pwedeng magpuksaan na walang bastusan. Puksaera din ako eh. And I can be bastos. But I choose not to be bastos. Kasi naniniwala nga ako sa basic human respect. Disagreement is different from disrespect, ha? You can challenge a person's idea or opinion without attacking that person's humanity. We have to listen because real conversations happen when we listen as much as we speak. And when it comes to call out nyo, di ba? Pag may ginawang masama, i-call out nyo. Because accountability is important. But so is the opportunity of growth. and the possibility of learning from your mistakes. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao mag-a-agree sa atin at hindi naman tayo perpektong tao, di ba? Makakagawa tayo ng mali kahit hindi natin sinasadya. At pwede tayong i-cancel, i-call out ng ibang tao, and that's part of human nature. Ganun talaga. Pero how are you going to take accountability? And how are you going to actually learn from that mistake? Yun ang mas importante.
In terms of being on that receiving end nga, so kung ikaw yung nako-call out or ikaw yung siguro binabash ng mga tao, kinakancel ng mga tao, and parang ayaw ka nilang patawarin, what steps have you seen other people maybe take na ipakita nila sa mga tao na kaya nilang mag-grow, kaya nilang magbago?
Siyempre, first step dyan is aminin mo yung pagkakamali mo. Diba? Be accountable. Ginawa mo tapos hindi ka magsusorry. Aba? Diba? And next step, magbigay ka ng panahon for others to heal also sa ginawa mo. Kung may mga na-offend kang tao, bigyan mo sila ng panahon. Diba? Kasi hindi siya instant eh. And if that time comes, then thank you very much. Pero kung dumating pa rin yung panahon na hindi ka pinatawad, then you just have to move on. Life goes on with or without you.
Totoo. Napaisip ako bigla yung aminin yung pagkakamali, ganun-ganun. Sana yung mga iboto nating leader, ganun, no? Yung parang na-call out na
Diyos
natin.
ko.
Tapos,
Eto nga, yung mga binoto yung leader, hindi na nga umaamin sa pagkakamali, nagtatago pa.
Tama. Bakit kaya? No? Bakit kaya?
Diba?
Basic respect na sa bansa natin yun na magpakita sila at humarap sa kung ano mang kailangan nila, di ba?
Hindi nila ginagawa yun kasi wala silang respeto. Wala silang respeto sa mga mamamayan na dapat pinagsisilbihan nila. Diba? Basic human respect, ibigay nyo naman sa amin, nagbibigay na nga kami ng tax. Diba? Hindi dapat tayo nag-e-expect ng accountability sa mga leaders natin. We should demand it. Kailangan meron silang accountability. Kasi kung wala silang accountability, ano pang ginagawa nyo dyan? Hindi nyo lang sinasayang yung oras namin. Pinapahirapan nyo yung buhay namin bilang mga Pilipino. Diba? Kasi... Nagalit. Pero bakit totoo? Ito question ko sa inyo. Hindi ba kayo galit sa nangyayari sa lipunan? Hindi ba kayo nagagalit sa korupsyon? Diba? Ako din eh.
At kami din lahat dito sa Waikada, di ba?
hindi pa tayo nagtatapos dahil merong mga questions ang ating mga Waikada mula dito sa Magna Anima Teachers College. So, tanungin natin ang kanilang mga questions. Robbie?
Thank you, Aya. What's up, Waikada? I am here with my teammate from last week, si Ryan. Ryan, please stand up.
So my question po, Ms. Jervy, is about media and representation. So apart from basic human respect, we also must respect people's right to exist. There are people out there who treat the presence of LGBTQIA+ people in the media or in news as a threat because they feel like we are imposing our beliefs on them. What would you say to those people?
Alam mo, to be honest with you, when I entered the news industry as a news anchor, people labeled it as tokenism. Na parang, binibigyan ako ng special privilege just to have representation in the media. I don't know if they feel threatened or not, but ang thinking ko kasi is the bigger picture. I don't care what you say or how you look at it, as long as I am there. Because it never happened before, and it's happening because you put me there. And I won't go anywhere, no matter what you say. So even if I do entertainment news, lifestyle, or trivia, I don't do hard news as of the moment, okay lang. Because I said this in one of my interviews when Barbara Walters was given the chance to co-anchor a national news in America during the 70s. She read less. She was given the smaller stories. Pero sabi niya, it doesn't matter because it's monumental that I am here. So I think I have the same sentiments. I don't care what other people think as long as I am here because my visibility and representation in the media is important. Let me tell you a story. Noong nagsisimula ako sa kinikilabutan ako, hindi dahil may multo pero kinilabutan ako dito sa story na to kasi naalala ko siya. Noong nagsisimula ako sa news, may nag-message sa akin sa social media, sa Instagram ko. Sabi niya, Miss Kalad Karen, alam niyo po ba yung nanay ko hindi alam ang ibig sabihin ng transgender? So nung nanonood po kami ng balita at napanood po namin kayo, sinabi ko po sa nanay ko, si Miss Kalad Karen, transgender woman po siya. Tapos sabi ng nanay niya, may ganun klase palang babae. Si Kalad Karen pala ay isang transgender. So doon mo makikita yung power ng representation na nakita ka ng isang tao na wala man lang idea kung ano ang isang transgender woman. So in that way, yung representation ko nakapagbibigay ng awareness. It can also bridge empathy, kasi pag naintindihan ng nanay niya kung anong ibig sabihin ng transgender at may iba't ibang klase pala ng SOGI, SC, pag nakakita rin siya ng ibang taong katulad ko, let's say, trans man naman, or bisexual, or non-binary, magigets niya na kasi alam niya na yung, ay may transgender nga Siyempre may iba't iba pang klase ng tao. So, I don't mind and I don't want them to see me as a threat because first and foremost, people like us should be included anyway.
Ralph, Aya, and Madam Kalad Karen, first of all, gusto ko lang sabihin sa lahat po ng sinabi nyo, yes, agree na agree. And ito, kasama ko ngayon, one of our Waikadas, Julia of Trimex Colleges. Okay, Julia, go ahead.
Hello, Miss Kalad Karen.
Hello, Julia.
So it's a personal question po. Was there a specific question na lagi pong tinatanong sa inyo na it sets you a boundary na laging ito ang tinatanong na alam nyong disrespectful po pero paulit-ulit na kinu-question sa inyo?
Well, nasa Stay Pressed naman tayo. I would be very honest. Laging tinatanong ng mga tao kung meron pa ba or wala in terms of my private part. Lagi kong sinasagot sa kanila that what's between my legs is none of your business. What matters most is your heart and your mind.
Alright, one last one. Medyo connected din siya sa tanong kanina and sa sagot niyo po. But what do you do and how do you respond naman sa mga taong hindi gumagamit ng tamang pronouns when addressing you?
I always say to educate, not humiliate. So whenever people use the wrong pronouns to me, alam mo yon sa sarili mo kung gusto kang bastusin o hindi niya lang talaga alam. So I approach it in different ways. Kapag alam ko na yung isang tao ay hindi talaga informed, I try myself to educate. I will tell that person, ma'am po ako. Parang sabi ko, ang ganda-ganda ko naman, sir pa rin. So minsan dinadaan ko sa joke, pero alam ko kasi na hindi niya sinasadya. Now, if a person really wants to disrespect you, impolite siya, at gusto kanya talagang blatantly bastusin, sometimes binabastos ko rin pabalik.
Maraming salamat for
Uy,
being
thank you. Nag-enjoy ako. Salamat.
Thank you, Ate Jervy, for joining us tonight. Waikada, another big round of applause, please, for Kalad Karen.